Let's move on to the next. This is really the highlight of this show. Is we're going to show you the Brent Barry how to shoot underhanded free throws. And the reason why I say this is the highlight is a number of reasons. First of all, if you want to learn how to do something, you get an expert. And Brent Barry is an expert. He's a member of the Hall of Fame, been voted as one of the top 50 National Basketball Association players in history. And interestingly enough, this particular skill of shooting free throws, which is very, very important in the outcome of a game, he's like the second best free throw shooter in the history of the National Basketball Association. And yet what you're going to see is totally unique, because not anybody that I know of currently shoots free throws the way you're going to see Rick teaching you how to shoot free throws. At the end, we're going to ask him how come.
Hey, Rick. Santa Rosa Bob, my man.
Hey, Rick, how are you?
Good to meet
Nice
you,
to
buddy.
see you. Nice to see you.
And this, to me, it's repetition. It's doing it the same. I shot it the same way every single time. And when you practice, you need to practice the same way. I mean, I'm going to take 3 dribbles. It's up here. And, well, first of all, the concept behind it is everything you're doing, if you're doing it correctly, you should be playing defense. Your arms are up. You're doing this. You're rebounding up here. You're shooting up here. And so it's easy to get a little tired and fatigued. So when I get to the free throw line to shoot free throws, think about it. Where am I? I'm in a totally natural position. This is the way you stand, right? You stand like this. So when I get to the free throw line, I'm not bringing the ball up to a position that is something abnormal. I don't have to worry about using muscles that might be fatigued or if I'm tired. I'm here, I'm able to totally relax. Shoulders width, same thing, the triple threat position everybody talks about, it's the same position. I'm bent at the knees. I got a little bend at the waist, not a whole lot. I'm standing up a little more upright. It's about the only time you should be upright in basketball. And then I do it. That's it. 3 dribbles. I would put my hand on the ball in the exact same place every time, because you have that luxury. I'd always look at the Spalding thing here and get my fingers exactly in the same panel, every place at the same time. No tension. My arms are just hanging in a natural position. I never tighten up my wrist, my elbows. I'm over the ball, and just before I'm ready to shoot, I would just do this. And that little cock of the wrist, because I'm over the top of the ball, that little cock of the wrist did what? What that does, interesting enough, if I took my hand off the ball, what did that do? It put my hand into a totally natural position, as if my hand was straight down by my side, except I have it in front of me. If I were to take my hand off the ball when I'm here, if I brought it here, that's not natural. Just before I shoot it, I did that. That brings me back to where? A total natural position to shoot the ball from. So that was a major key for it, to be able to do that. All right, so now I'm relaxed and doing it here. Then it's just a simple bend. I bend the waist. There's no movement in the arms. I don't do this. I don't ever bring the ball out here. It's always hanging there, basically almost touching against me here. Bend, and then as I come up, I just come up with my arms. When I get to about this point, it's a very simple thing. No wrist. This is where I learned later in my career. When I first played with these guys, when I came in, I would do a little bit of this. My dad taught me to do it. And I shot a high percentage, but when I really got good, I shot in the 90s, is when I took the wrist out of it. And I realized I could take the wrist out of it, which just made it more accurate, because I didn't have to worry. Sometimes it'd be a little too much wrist, maybe quite not enough. Here, it's just simple roll my wrist together. And God, I wish I was smart enough to have learned this when I was younger, because I used to shoot 12, 13 times a game. And if I could have gotten on a roll, I always wanted to make 100 and something consecutive free throws so that somebody had a tough time ever beating it. And I never did. It really ticked me off. But when I made 60, I was only shooting 2, 3 times a game. So it takes a long time to get a string of 60 together. Whereas when I was shooting 12 and 13, in 2 weeks' time, I'm liable to do 100 and something. So I was always upset that I wasn't smart enough to do that. So then here, now the difference is here is that I don't look at the ball. I just want the ball to die. And that's the difference. When this ball hits, I'll make a lot of free throws that might hit the rim, because when it hits, it's so soft, it doesn't hit and go bouncing off. It's a very soft shot. So I want it to just be dying over the front of the rim, so it's coming down softly. And so that's all I do is here, wrist together, and just get it over the front of the rim. And see, when Jeff and I played, that wouldn't count in our contest.
You can count mine.
No, Jeff and I would play, if you hit the rim, it wouldn't count. When we would shoot against one another. So it's just here, cock, down, and together. Very soft. It's like this. That was terrible. Oh, I missed it. But I'm not going to miss too many. Even now. That's the free throw. That's the way you want to do it. And if I shoot him right, the ball does usually come back to me. I don't hit the rim, the ball will go through, and it'll have enough backspin to come back to me. I would hit the rim, so I wouldn't do it.
What's so amazing about 90% is just think how exhausted you are and getting hammered by somebody in the league, and then you have to stand up there and shoot it. Yeah. It's one thing to stand there and shoot 9 out of 10.
You can just see when I hit the other one. If I get it up over the rim, chances are it's never going to not go in. Long. See, I could do that one as soon as I did it. My father, basically. My father played and coached semi-pro. And I was like a 75%.
When I was in high school, I had to say that you had to do that my first 2 years.
Yeah. That's the way they did it. They used to shoot that way, or they used to shoot 2 hands overhand or something. Oh, Nate, watch it. Hey, baby. Okay. I really only did it because of the fact that my father, I did it just to stop. He's driving me crazy. Hey, you got to try the underhand. So I finally just one summer said, let's go do this, because I said, if I don't, he's going to drive me nuts. So I did it. I went out and worked with him, and it didn't take very long for me to go, this isn't too bad. So I said, yeah, well, okay, well, let's work on this a little more, Dad. And so I changed that summer. I changed, and that's the first time I ever shot 80% the next year, and then I just kept getting better and got it up to 94.7. Was the highest I ever was, so it was good.
Rick, knowing how good you are at that free throw, and you are so confident with that free throw, why doesn't anybody else shoot that thing?
It's egos, I think. It's really ego. It's all egos.
One more. 1, 2, 3. Thanks.
Good job, buddy. You had fun. You had fun.